Reims is often considered the spiritual capital of the Champagne region and lies 80 miles to the east of Paris. From the Paris train station Gare l'Est, you can take the TGV and arrive here in 45 minutes. We are taking the small roads from Epernay, which offer the best touring experience. If you like, you can easily rent a car here to take you out into the countryside to explore the region fully. But today we are headed into the old city center to show you some of the sights. Originally founded by the Remy tribe of Gauls, Reims became an important city of the Roman Empire and played the prominent role of coronation city to the kings of France. The city has close to 200,000 residents, and some prestigious names in Champagne like Jacquot, Montauban, and Louis Roederer each make this city their home. The town can still be entered through the oldest monument standing in the city, the Mars Gate. It maintains the name from a temple to Mars previously in the neighborhood. The Porta de Mars is a triumphal arch, 43 feet high and 108 feet wide, decorated with cherubs, columns, and arches. It is rumored to have been built by the Remy in appreciation for the intersection of Roman roads that terminated at the city. Reims has collected a wide array of architecture throughout the centuries, providing visitors with some very fine walks through the city. The charm of the old town quickly opens itself to you, and before you know it, you are at the Hotel de Ville, the town hall, where construction began in 1627, with final elements completed in 1880. It was destroyed in World War I and rebuilt in 1928. From half-timbered Maison en Colombage to Art Deco masterpieces like the Carnegie Bibliothèque, each block of the city can offer the visitor an interesting vision into the past life of Reims. And nothing can be finer than enjoying your first champagne tasting along the sunny pedestrian market square, Place Drouet d'Erlon. Once the site of public executions, it remains the spot where 4 people were guillotined during the French Revolution. But today the guillotines are a thing of the past, and the area remains a market center, offering fine dining with upscale shopping and the laissez-faire atmosphere you expect. But one can hardly traverse the city without being in the shadow of the great towers of the cathedral Notre Dame de Reims. In the late 5th century, the first king of the Franks, Clovis, would rise out of Roman Gaul and put an end to Western Roman rule outside of Italy. He would go on to conquer all of the land that makes up modern-day France and extend his territory deep into what is now central Germany. Clovis was baptized by Bishop Saint Remy of Reims into Catholicism for political reasons, and a basilica was first built at this site. According to legend, the holy ampulla was delivered by a dove of the Holy Spirit to anoint Clovis. The name Clovis eventually evolved into Louis, and it was this baptism that destined this location to become the coronation site for the kings of France. Construction on the current structure began soon after the fire of 1211. In 1233, an old dispute turned into open revolt over legal jurisdiction and taxation. After the killings of several clerics, the cathedral's administration fled the city until a mediation between the king and the pope restored the peace, and eventually the work was completed in the 14th century. This cathedral is considered to have the second highest number of sculpted figures in all of Europe, behind the Cathedral of Chartres. Statues of animals, gargoyles, the Virgin Mary, the baptism of Clovis, and a gallery of kings are among these works. Others include the Last Judgment, Jesus, and rose windows with the prophets and apostles. German artillery took its toll on the cathedral during the First World War, setting scaffolding on fire, melting the metal roof, sending lead out of the mouths of the gargoyles into the streets below. With financial support from the Rockefellers, the cathedral was restored and reopened in 1938. The adjoining Palace of Two gets its name from its design that is shaped like a T or two in Greek. It was the site of a large Gallo-Roman villa from the 6th century. The building was originally built in the Gothic style in the early 15th century and then converted to a Baroque style in the early 18th century. It was also damaged by the cathedral fire during World War I and has served as a royal residence of the kings leading up to their coronations. The kings were dressed here before entering the cathedral and then returned for extravagant banquets in their honor. But nothing compares to the cathedral at night, especially during the months spanning May to October when the Rêve de Couleurs is running. It is a do-not-miss exhibition of art, light, and music broadcast onto the facade of the cathedral. Created to celebrate the 800th anniversary, music and light are painted onto the exterior, creating an experience of the construction, a coronation, and an actual representation of what is believed to be the original appearance of a fully painted cathedral, including all of the statues in full color from the feet to the eyes of every detailed figure. Thank you for joining us on our maiden journey into La Culture du Vin. If you find yourself like us craving more of the culture, join us next week for another episode and visit us online at lacultureduvin.com.